Hey everybody, it's Mike over here at Growtopia. I want to show you some growing that's going on, some cool stuff that's going on, and things to look out for as well. So stay tuned. It's Mike from Growtopia. So currently our asparagus that are 2-year crowns are looking honestly phenomenal. I did have a little bit of squirrel activity in the straw mulch, but nothing crazy. But these are looking really good. The lettuces are looking great. Now, here's the thing to look out for, and I see it in the other beds, and I'm gonna pull it out as well. Is you're gonna see something like this, and you're like, well, I didn't plant this. Now, at a young stage, if you pull it out very carefully, like you're pulling out a hair follicle, you didn't do it that way, like I should have, you're gonna find a small seed. Now, unfortunately, it might be a blade of grass, it might be something from the straw, it might be something that the birds did drop behind. Do not get discouraged when you're starting a elevated raised bed. So you're going to see this a lot. You're going to have to honestly keep going at it every day. I do it every single day. But here, look at this. As I move the straw mulch around, this is my potato bed, okay? And there is a white piece of plastic in here. There's a rubber band. Get rid of that. But this is what your potatoes are supposed to look like when they're coming out of your raised bed. They're not supposed to look like blades of grass like we saw back there. Now, they're very hard. You want to try to grab them at the base as you can. And if you can, dig down a little bit. Now, I wouldn't say it's always coming from the straw mulch, but it's coming from something. It could be coming from the soil that you put in there. So if we actually pull this out very carefully, okay, so you take a little tight here, so we're going to just go in here just a little bit more. This is all filmed from my camera. Okay, good. This is a really nice example. So you could see that this right here is a seed of some sort. It's a seed that we didn't plant. It could have been from the birds, it could have been from the soil that you're using, or it could have came in the straw mulch. But it's not something you want. Alright, so you want to get rid of that. Especially if you know what you're growing inside your bed, the last thing you really want is intruders. But what's nice is with the elevated raised bed, if I put you guys back here, I'm 5'9", and try to stick you guys here. If you guys can see me from here, this is how the bed is from my angle. It's literally right up to the bottom of my belly, which is great. I'm not bending over, I'm not squatting. I am doing a little bending over to actually pull this stuff out. But I'm not doing it to the point where I'm stressing myself out as a person. Now, I can just get in here really nicely like this. I can move everything around. And we're going to try to just kind of pull it out. We got the seed as well. We just toss it off to the other side. But if you are growing potatoes in an elevated raised bed, like I said, this is what you're going to be looking for. This is the potatoes coming up. Now you can even help them along too. Kind of like you're doing like any little animal and stuff you're dealing with. You could just kind of spread it around. You can see how my potatoes are already trying to come out of the ground, but they're doing really good with the straw mulch. We had about 105 yesterday. Today's about 75. Luckily, it broke down. Unfortunately, we do have the the Canada wildfires that are coming through. So it's been like super crazy, hazy, and orange, and the phone does not pick it up. If we migrate over to my peppers, you can see like it's kind of strange too, because like my peppers don't have that same problem as my asparagus had. One of them was in my lettuce and a couple of my potatoes. So it either was a straggler that was in the straw mulch or it was in the soil that I use. Now I use the soil throughout the whole beds, so it came from somewhere. But unfortunately, I'm surrounded by birds. I feed my birds. I water my birds. Do I water my birds? I water my birds. I have a couple squirrels that like to make dig outs in the bed so they can take a dirt bath. So if you see like a dig out like this and you have squirrels, I love that they take dirt baths, but I don't like it when they do it in the beds. But at the moment, these beds aren't being used until I'm ready to put the cages on the outside of them. So I know they're not planting anything. At least I hope not they are. They might be. But that right there that you see, that dig out, that's from a squirrel. They're taking a dirt bath. And they like hanging out in this area here because there's a lot of cool water and they're shaded from the tree. So I feel bad when I'm going to put the cage on top for them, but the bed's not for the squirrels to hang out and take their little baths in. Nevertheless, this has been working out phenomenal. It's keeping the squirrels out. The birds obviously don't even go in there, and it's been retaining water very nicely. We are going to be working on the carrot bed today, as well as amongst of other things that we're going to be doing that are currently going on right now in the nursery. But I want to show you the lettuce as well. And I know I do jump around a lot, but I just want everybody to realize that you do not want to just give up, or just, you know, you start seeing little things, just get out there and look at it. This is something I got to look at every single day. Okay, so like our peppers are kind of doing, they're okay. I wouldn't say they're doing the greatest. The tomatoes over here, they're okay as well. Yes, there is some parts right here just for building it higher if things go a little bit better. I started clipping on the tomatoes to here, which actually worked out pretty good. This tomato seems to be doing really good, even though it just kind of made it look like it was worse. And I could just slide it up like that, and that's not going to hurt the tomato. The tomato's still going to do its thing. These two tomatoes are just kind of like, they're chilling out. They're not really kind of going too much further. So we're going to see where things grow at this point. Over here we have the jalapeno peppers. They seem to be doing better, ironically, than the sweet peppers are, but they're all getting the same amount of light. These guys actually get a little bit more shade if we didn't have this crazy cover of light, but they do get a little bit more shade than the jalapenos do, but not by much. They only get like maybe about an hour or two shade earlier than they do, so that might make a difference. But if you look in the distance, you can actually see like the grayness of the sky, of the smoke from the Canada wildfires that are coming through. In case I'm doing a lot of heavy breathing, that's probably what. So we're actually going to jump into our carrot bed. Now what I want to show you guys with planting carrots, especially in an elevated raised bed or in a raised bed in general, or just planting in the ground, it's location, it's spacing and spacing. I know you've heard it 1,000 times, but here's another way that I'm going to try doing it that actually might work, or it might not work. So let's try this. Wait for the airplane. So under the cloth, as you see here, I'm going to just spread it over, is you can see that the bed has not been touched at all by critters, which is very nice. Now, there's another thing that comes into play. If you want to grow carrots, the middle of July is the best time to honestly grow carrots, to get them nice and crisp. It's a nice cold weather crop depending on where you are. So I'm in Zone 7A, Long Island, New York, and our weather is so bipolar, it's hard to tell. I'm in Holbrook, and I tell everybody where I'm at because I could be in Holbrook, I could be in Wading River, I could be in Rocky Point, I could be in Mount Sinai, I could be in Calverton, I could be on the North Fork over in Jamesport, I could be in Orient, I could be in Mattituck, Greenport, Peconic, Southold. The temperatures are all going to be different. I could be in the Hamptons, the East Hamptons, I could be in Nassau County, in Brookvale. I could also be in Huntington Station. All the temperatures are going to be different. Deer Park, Brentwood, all the temperatures are going to be different. So every temperature on Long Island, because of the way the island is, it's a wildfire. It's a wildfire of temperatures. And the reason why I say that is because we had a really massive storm that came through, and I had literally built all of this, and everything on my property should have literally got blown away by the storm that came through. All my big trees that I am scared of ever falling on my house, falling on my property, never once moved on 4th of July night. I went to work the next day, and it looked like a war zone happened. Big trees, like my big oak, would be split in half. Pines that I have over here were completely demolished. I mean, it was wild, and we had nothing. We lucked out very, very well, which is amazing. Everybody I knew and people I dealt with, unfortunately, severed some pretty heavy damage, from damaging of their houses to loss of power as well. We had nothing. We had power loss for like a day, barely a day. So it really depends on where you are. Even the temperatures change as well. And I know that that's something that's really not concerning to most people, but unless you are in Zone 7A, Zone 7A or B? Zone 7B, Long Island, New York, this will mean to you. So carrots. So if you think of carrots, carrots are like your fingers, right? So your fingers can only grow so much together. Well, your fingers really don't grow together, but nevertheless, my commentary is fun. So if I spread my fingers apart, my fingers kept growing. They get bigger and bigger and bigger. If my fingers are closer together, they're going to stay the same size, right? So you want your carrots to be a little bit further apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to do little holes periodically, like this. Nothing crazy. We don't really want deep. I made them a little too deep. You can even put it on top of the soil. It doesn't really matter that much. You kind of just space it out like that. Boop, 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 boop. Or when you take your seed packet out, which is a lot of people want to do, is they see a seed packet like this one here. It's a rainbow carrot blend. And the first thing you want to do is you want to lay as much seed out as possible. I'm going to see if I have an open packet in my pocket. Well, these are the radishes. That's for another bed. All right, so we only have this one, right? So, okay. Whew, Mike's getting crazy. So we have our rainbow carrots. Now, if you look at the back of the seed packet, it's going to tell you different little zoning. It's going to tell you the spacing. Spacing that you're going to want is 1 to 2 inches. 14 to 21 days to germinate, 65 to 70 days till harvest, 7 to 19 inch root size. 7 to 9 inch root size. I can't read. So what we're looking at here, as I try to find a spot to stick you in, is a way of putting our carrots down that aren't going to break the bank. Now you could spray the whole bed with carrot seeds. That's fine. I like doing that from time to time. But it's a mix of a waste of seeds, and a lot of people tell you to thin them out. If you don't thin them out, which I agree with, if you do not thin your carrot seeds out, then your carrots aren't going to grow to the size that you're looking for. So what happens is they get bigger, and they don't like to get bigger when one's their next one. So if we look at the seeds here, that's a lot of seeds that are in my hand. Now I'm not going to plant all these seeds. Just want to show you guys what the seeds look like. So I'm going to just kind of stick you down here, and we're going to just kind of, I'm going to take a pinch, and I'm going to just kind of Now, that is a form of what I like to call chaos planting. Now, there's a 99.9% chance there's way too many seeds in this bed. And what I'm going to do is just going to kind of rough it up a little bit. Now, you can see it's kind of like on the surface over here, it's very dry. And you're kind of wondering like, well, would this actually work? Well, I can actually come back here with a hose every day around the same time and just kind of make sure that everybody has water. It's definitely dry on the surface. Obviously the watering has to be upped a little bit, but not too much, because everybody else is loving the amount of water. But obviously this bed is going to need a little bit more water retention, so we're going to up it just a minute. Now we can either up it with changing the programming, or we add extra water to it. Now you can do the board trick, which is works very well. I've done the board trick. This is the first time I'm actually going to be doing the coconut core fiber trick, which I'm coming up with myself, because I like how nothing can get in here and bother my plants at all, but water does get in here, and we are going to water that in. The next thing that we're actually going to run over to is our radishes. Now, the Easter egg radishes are really fun to plant as well, and they grow in about, 7 to 14 days after sowing. Plants will grow to 4 to 6 inches, green tops, produce 1 to 2 inch multicolored roots, sow in 3 spacings, each seed 5 inches apart, rows of 10 inches apart, because they get kind of a little bit bigger. They kind of look like, Easter eggs. That's the terminology. So we're going to do the same thing over here as well. So we're going to take the coconut core cover off, and the reason why I'm leaving it on after the fact is to protect it. Now, what's great about protecting it is that nothing's growing. Like, this is a piece of just green grass, nevertheless. So I'm just going to do is I'm going to come through here, I'm just going to rough it up a little bit, like such. And this is not something you guys have to follow. It's just something that I'm doing. So I'm not telling you this is the way you want to do it, or the way you should do it. If you like the way I'm doing it and it works for you, that is phenomenal. If it doesn't work for you, it works for me, that's great. If it doesn't work for me but it works for you, that's even better. So I'm going to open this packet up. Now I can do the same thing as well. As you can see, the seeds are a different size. I dropped one already. I'm going to grab a little pinch. Alright. Excuse me, Blue Jay, I'm in the middle of filming, but thank you very much for your sponsorship of squawking at me while I'm up here, over here while you're up there. So we're going to leave it like that, and then we're going to grab our coconut core cover that we have. We'll put it back down like such. If it goes the other way, it's funny how it actually does work a certain way because it's the way it's cut. And we're going to stick it back on top like such. Now, of course, a lot of you are saying, like, well, Mike, that's not really that great because it's going to stop the plants from growing through it. You're absolutely right. What it's going to do is it's going to give the seeds a little bit of protection from the birds and everything under the sun, so that it could do its own thing on its own. That's what we're kind of looking at. Now, of course, once it's an established bed, like the potatoes, airplane, like the potatoes, the lettuce is more seasonal, but like the asparagus and the potatoes, and of course the blueberries, the raspberries, and the cranberry, that's all going to be mixed together. Those are established beds that stay the way they are. The beds that have the covering on it is so that they're ready for the next time I'm going to plant them. And honestly, I love how nothing is growing in them. It works very well. So it's only going to be on temporarily until stuff is about to germinate. So how do I know when it's going to germinate? Well, I check it every single day. Every day I come home from work, I pull back the cover, I see what's going on. You're like, well, it's blocking the sunlight, the seeds aren't going to germinate. Germinate. Most seeds actually don't need a grow light until they actually hit the surface of the soil. Once they start producing leaves. It's kind of like an old wives' tale. I did that with tomatoes, I've done that with everything. I've grown seeds with a heat mat with no grow light until they germinated, then I turn the grow lights on. Turning the grow lights on while they're in the soil, I mean, it kind of helps with the day and night cycle. but you really don't need it. But it actually does help. With this, we're going to do it this way for this time around, and we're going to see what happens. Normally, I would start the carrots like I normally do. I'd have a board over them, which is similar to the some of my buddy catbirds over there, over by Pearl's grave, hanging out. Just about see them. Alright, normally you would put a board over carrots or any way to kind of like block the sun for a little bit, and you got to check it every day and water it every day as well. Beets I've just done like in the soil with no covering on it, but I want to try something a little different. So this is what we're doing now. I'm going to take my hose, which is over at my bird bath. I'm going to water them in. And if people ask, like, what do you mean by water them in? So a lot of people will cut from this point of the video and be like, oh, I'm going to water them in, and the video cuts off. Well, I'm going to literally show you what I mean by watering them in. So we're going to just literally go on top, and the green that you're seeing right here is literally the plastic of the fiber, so we're just going to literally water it in like such. Now this water will penetrate it, of course, as it is. And all we're doing is making sure it gets watered. That's it. Simple as that. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, people. Come on, bucket. Give me some more hose. There you go. And don't wet your seeds, by the way. I didn't, but I'm just saying don't wet your seeds if they're in the area. So if you're starting to notice, like, okay, like kind of here, like it's needing a little bit more water in the beds. The beds aren't really taking on that much water. We could just amplify it by like another, we'll say like another 5 minutes. We'll add another 5 minutes to these beds, because honestly, it wouldn't really hurt. I mean, the lettuces are looking great. But it wouldn't hurt to add like an extra 5 minutes. But unfortunately, when you add 5 minutes to that one zone, you're going to have to add another 5 minutes to whatever other zones, if they are piggybacking. Now, I know that's going to lose a lot of people. So if, like, let's say this zone is from 5 o'clock in the morning, which it is, to 5:10 in the morning, and this is 5:11. Follow the math over there. But you can take a look at the watering zone. Obviously, there's not a lot of elevation on them, so that means that they are using the water, of course. I can amplify them just a little bit, but not by much. But even then, I can even do something that you can't even do nowadays at the grocery store, because most of the plants that you are buying, or lettuces, according to the CDC, have this wormy parasite that can hurt you or cause you to have explosive diarrhea. That's why I like to grow my own shit. And that's a nice piece of romaine. I'm not gonna lie. That is definitely romaine. I got deeper. My boys got deeper. That is a lot. That is a nice piece of romaine. Get out of here, bug. That's a nice piece of romaine. So we're gonna up the watering a little bit. I'm gonna fix my watering boy, and I'm trying not to eat all my lettuce and romaine that's sitting there. My romaine, not my lettuce. And hopefully my giant Marconis stop looking so sad and look like the crazy jalapenos over there, and my tomatoes get a little bit better. Whew. We've got some more fun coming as well, but let's keep going. Let's see what else we're doing. You know, if there was never a greater time to grow your own shit, it's now, and it's every year. So now we have a new virus going on called Psychosopriasis. See, the reason why I like growing my own shit is because, well, everything is under a scrutiny level. It's I don't crap on my planters. I don't handle my plants with poopy fingers. And I'm eating, literally, trying to. I think I broke my tooth. I dropped it. It's not really ripe yet. One of my pears. Now, it's definitely got some sourness to it. But I'm not going to get psychocephalysis, whatever the hell it is. But see, when you grow your own shit, like I do, like many others, you're not going to get the viruses that you get from the big box stores, because they're getting it from farms that have multiple people that are harvesting the stuff, and they're doing things that are, well, questionable. They're smoking pot, they're smoking weed, they're smoking cigarettes, they're drinking, they're pissing, they're shitting. I'm picking it off and eating it. I'm not going to get diarrhea. You know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get some good eating. Also, I forgot my seed packets. I'm like, where'd they go? So it's like, But then it's like, they're like, oh, well, it attacks other things. Well, it attacks not just leafy greens. Of course, that was a very unripened peach from my peach tree here that you can see here, which I'm not gonna lie, was really bitter. But they're like, well, it also attacks blueberries and raspberries. I think I might have some blueberries left if my catbird's eating them, and I think I got some raspberries left if my blueberries didn't eat them. I mean, my catbirds didn't eat them. My blueberries are eating the raspberries, and the raspberries are eating the blueberries, and the catbirds are eating the snoresberries. As we continue on our journey of making sure we don't get psychosurpriasis, is our Granny Smith apple tree. Another thing we grow. Now, this apple is very small, and it's got some thingies done to it. Trying to stop myself. Look at my pocket. Another way I'm not going to get. Could you not bug? I'm not going to get psychocephalysis. Now, as we walk around, that was a big piece of chew. Different things you can get. You know, like if you grow. Now, see, the problem is my raspberry bush has been kind of, well picked by my catbirds. But I might get lucky and find a raspberry I can munch on. Now, some are thorny, some are not thorny, some are horny. Let's see. Sometimes the catbirds leave me something behind. Oh, here we go. There's a little pink eye here. Let's see, you can't really pull it off, so it's not really ready yet, so we're not going to pull that one off. We need one that's a little bit more red. This is a red raspberry bush that has complete, ow. No, people, that is not weed. This is a hibiscus. It looks like weed. It's not weed. If you try to smoke it, you're not going to have a good result. We are looking for. Good Lord, you guys picked this shit clean. Should have figured my catbirds were out here for a bit. for a hot minute out here. They're out here. They have picked all of the raspberries. That's fine. I have no problem with it because I still have my Granny Smith apple. No, it's not fully produced yet. I was getting there. But on the other side of the property, we have our blackberries. Now, our blackberries are just about to get black. Now, of course, we got weeds coming in. But I'm not gonna lie, that's a good apple. Very thick, very flavorful. That's a nice looking rose right there. I was hoping to grab something. I really was. Go back. On the other side, we can try to grab some of our raspberries from. Nope. Apparently, catbirds have figured out that secret spot as well. You guys have really picked it clean. Well, here we go. So we have found a little gem. Now, my mother and I, we picked a lot of the red raspberries and the yellow raspberries from here before the catbirds got a little hungry. But nevertheless, if you want to keep yourself away from dealing with these different viruses or plant-related viruses, just grow your own stuff. Simple, it's easy. We have beach plums. We have a big bush here. We have a monster bush here. I mean, look at the size of this bush. And I'm keeping an eye on my bush. Once they're getting like purple, ooh, getting a little purple tin, getting closer. You guys don't watch me. That's when it's time to pick this thing. Look how big this is. And this blueberry bush, it is literally a really old bush. These bushes are domesticated bushes. I'm not going to tell you where I got them from. But all I can tell you is that they are easily over 20 years old. And they are phenomenal. And I cut them back if I need to, because they're just gonna get nutty, and they kind of like grow a little all over the place. But they are got tons of berries on them, and the berries have fruit. You can eat the fruit. You can also make beach plum wine. You can make beach plum jam. You can just eat them as it is. But the biggest key is grow your own stuff. Don't let, you know, it's good to buy stuff from the supermarket. I get it, and farmers market as well. But it's always good to have like your own stock of your own shit you're growing, even if it's just a hobby. You know, you get like a little bit of it. You're not going to get like the major big pieces that you're going to get from the supermarket, but you can get it over time. But when shit hits the fan like it is now, where you don't want the shit to hit the pan, you can still survive. So, just saying. Anyway, I got an apple in my pocket. Later.